Senator Barrasso.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm not sure whether the nominee before us today is personally aware of so many folks who have actually lost their jobs because of the EPA and a role that I believe it is taking now, which is failing our country. People in places like Wyoming, Montana, Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia. And let me just read you a story that ran on the front page of the Casper Star-Tribune, Wyoming statewide newspaper, dated January 28th of this year, 2013. It's entitled, "Coal's Decline Hits. Depressed Domestic Market Means Laid Off Wyomingites." The article references Mike Cooley and his family, and here he is with his 2-year-old son and his wife. The article says that Mike has become one of several hundred mining families, mine workers, to lose their jobs in the past year in the region as a dispute over West Coast ports hobbles the industry's ability to reach booming markets in Asia, people who want to buy American products. But yet, your extreme emission rules that you have imposed on U.S. power stations are forcing coal companies to make up for lost domestic customers by exporting more to countries in Asia. Yet, the EPA has written a letter to the Army Corps of Engineers, and I would ask Madam Chairman to make a copy of this letter, part of the record.
It will be done.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. Your EPA has written the Army Corps of Engineers, encouraging them to look at the greenhouse gas impacts of allowing coal to be shipped overseas through these West Coast ports. So not only have you blocked the use of coal in power plants domestically, you now are recommending that coal not be shipped and an American product not be able to be shipped and sold overseas. I mean, this gentleman goes on, he says, I've never been laid off. I've always worked since I was a teenager. He said, who's now his family is relying on his wife's income as a grocery store cashier until he finds a job. Now, that's not just Wyoming. The Bluefield Daily Telegraph, a West Virginia paper, ran a story about a veteran coal miner, their concerns about the administration's war on coal. This miner named Al Palmer, and Madam Chairman, I'd like to make that story a part of the record as well.
Yes, without objection.
He says, quote, "Coal miners used to be heroes, but now many of my brothers and sisters in the coal industry fear for their family's livelihood." The article mentions Al's father, who worked as a coal miner, as did both of his grandfathers. Now his son works in the same mine with him. He stated in the article, "Coal has powered this nation for years. Please don't throw us away." He says, my question is, are coal miners like Al and his son no longer heroes to the nominee and to the EPA? The EPA is making it impossible for our coal miners like Mike Cooley in Wyoming, Al Palmer in West Virginia to feed their families. How many more times, if confirmed, will this EPA director pull the regulatory lever and allow another mining family to fall through the EPA's trapdoor to joblessness, to poverty, and to poor health? These people are heroes, and they deserve better than what they're getting from the EPA. The nominee before this committee is a senior EPA official, reporting to the administrator, and to some extent she owes the American people an explanation and a vision today for what the EPA under her would look like. Will anything change? Anything from the course that we've been on for the last 4 years? The nominee today has testified at her confirmation hearing 4 years ago that she would, quote, "speak plainly and truthfully about the lives being lost, the responsibilities we face, the challenges ahead, the options we have, and the opportunities we can realize as we face the future together." I haven't heard yet any plain statements from EPA, and hopefully it will today from this nominee, about the negative health impacts and lives lost from chronic unemployment caused by the EPA policies. Regulations and proposed rules on greenhouse gases, coal ash, mercury emissions, and industrial boilers have led to the closing of dozens of power plants in the U.S., costing our country thousands of jobs. Folks who now have no job, no money, no prospect for a job in their communities, and they are experiencing serious health risks as a result of that. Studies show that children from unemployed parents suffer significant negative health effects. The National Center for Health Statistics said children in poor families, people out of work, are 4 times as likely to be in fair or poor health as children in families who are not poor. This is a serious health epidemic, and it seems to go unnoticed by the EPA. So we need a nominee who has the power to not just listen to stakeholders, but to keep his or her promises, someone who is truly committed to the reform that we need to keep America working. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you.